So here's what we got going on today. We're going to start talking more about these compounded probabilities. We looked a little bit at this before. It really is not a difficult topic to talk about at all. I'm not going to get into the more fancy versions of this stuff, probably until after the quiz stuff tomorrow or Friday. Quiz stuff with tomorrow, it's just the first 4 sections. There really is nothing that I can think of that you haven't seen. It shouldn't take more than 25 minutes. It really shouldn't.
How many questions are there?
I don't remember. It's not much at all. If you understand how to do your generic setups, when you use permutation, when you use combination, remember permutation is when your order matters. Combination is just like a mixture of everything you can put together.
Combination is hard, right?
A lot of times, yeah, because you're just looking at how many hands can you get, that kind of thing. It's not like an order. It's not like an order in which you want it a 2, a 5, 6, something like that. That's completely different.
When it comes to the section test, like, are we going to be able to use calculators or no?
Don't talk. What about people?
Because I want to know if I can like memorize the formulas.
I'll let you use it like that.
Okay.
If there is a part, I haven't decided. I don't know yet. Maybe. We'll worry about that later. How's that?
Okay.
Make sure you use like
That.
That? No.
Yeah.
The geometric probability will be on there. It shouldn't be anything. I'm not going to throw any of the area stuff at you that it's horrible. It should be extremely straightforward. When we're talking about this stuff, it's awful, that deal. We're talking about this stuff today, the new version of this compound events. It is so simple of an idea to work with. You guys already know how to do it. For example, if I'm looking with a deck of cards, what is going to be the probability of getting a 6 or an ace when I deal 1 card? If I deal 1 card out, what's going to be the probability that I get a 6 or an ace? You're looking at combinations. I'm just looking like flip 1 card. No. You're talking about probability. If you're doing chooses, you're looking at things. You're looking at counting possibilities. When you're counting possibilities, you're going to be counting things that are greater than 1. Right? Probabilities cannot be greater than 1. So what you guys are doing, and like I said, this isn't something that you haven't seen before. You know that how many 6s are in a deck of cards? Out of how many? And how many aces are there? Now, what I'm looking at here is these events themselves. It's going to be 6 or an ace. They're mutually exclusive of each other. They have no. They're not trying to combine them through with anything else. You're not trying to make it. It's just one of those things to happen. Those things, one of those 2 things to happen. I knew that's what I meant to say. That's why we add between these 2 here. You have a common denominator right off the bat, so you guys already gave me the answer. It was 8 out of 52, and then you simplified your fractions. What was it? 2 out of 13, yeah. And people have been asking, what do I want you guys to do tomorrow when you're doing these? Fractions are the most common when you're dealing with cards. If it's a funky setup with like geometric probabilities, then you can use your decimals. Don't use percentages. Percentages are kind of annoying, to be honest with you. It's not a big deal. It's more work to do percentage than it is a fraction or a decimal. You have more risk of screwing it up by moving your decimal the wrong way.
Yeah.
So don't even bother with it. To be honest, don't even bother with it. What's going to be different here between this version versus the next question is I think you'll be able to pick it up. What's the probability of being red or an 8?
Oh, I think
We talked a little bit about it before. We haven't really put it on paper yet.
Red would be 1.
Red or an 8? What's that? Out of 1? Yeah, this is all out of one shot, 1 card. Pick 1 card. Pick a card, any card. Pick a card.
Red would be 1.5 or 26 have 4.
Yeah! Hannah's here! Hey!
Wrong. Unless you're
Hannah! Wait, hold on. Wait,
26
ready?
goes for 2 of these.
you're right.
3 diamonds.
I already got it wrong. Wait, Hannah, you have to look at my story.
What was it?
10 of spades. It was actually the same card Cullen picked yesterday, but he got it right. So we have red or 8. How many cards are red?
26.
26 of them. So you have 26 out of the 52. And then how many of them are 8s?
It's 2 out of 52.
I want to go the long way though. How many 8s do we have? 4. There's 4 of them. But of that 4, how many of those were red? 2. So every once in a while you have to be careful and back out the overlap.
My bad.
Okay? You have to be careful with the overlap. This occurs very, very often. And most of you guys knew that.
So 28 after 2.
Correct.
Which is in plus
14,
14 after 26.
which is
Which is in plus 7 over 13.
very good. Helps me know how to write. So the idea here is whether or not you have to back something out. It's like a Venn diagram. It's those overlaps. When you look at it, how many cards are red? How many cards are 8s? Of those 4 8s, how many of those were red? That's why I already counted that. Otherwise, I'd be double counting.
So it's just slightly more.
See what I'm saying? You want to back out your double count. Yes, ma'am.
No, that's not you.
Sorry. Nyari, please, let me answer your question because yours is the most important of right now.
I just didn't see that you were calling on me. All right, I was just gonna say,
Is this over? Did it
you
take
have
long?
to go at work, because like I lived in like the mental math, like if it gets complicated, then I start showing work, like,
Fine. I get it.
I'm one of those ones that's so mean. Oh yeah, we're so happy.
Air 5, make up for it. What's the probability of an ace or a face card?
It's the same as aces.
So that's
There's 3, 3, there's 12.
Ace or a face card?
12, 12. 12 out of 52 plus 4 out of 52. So 16 out of 52. Ace or face. AKA 4 out of 13.
Does an ace count as a face card?
No.
Why not?
It doesn't have a picture.
Doesn't have a face. Doesn't have a face, the ace.
With no face.
I like these.
Kind of like a horse with no name.
It's actually not. What?
Have you been through the desert?
I think it's reference.
Been through the desert on a horse. Felt good to be out of the rain. In the desert.
I know that song.
You can't remember. It was in American, what was the, Hustle, American Hustle. It was American Hustle. You saw that movie. Real good movie. So you guys got this one, what was it, 4 out of 52? And then how many face cards are there?
12. Well, and you get 16 out of 52 with 4 out of 13.
This is where card counting comes in.
Yes.
This is where card counting comes in. So, Hannah, since you missed out at the beginning of class, and we missed you terribly, we didn't really care, miss you. What I want to do is,
I hope so.
You know, you're gonna go to like a therapist and you're gonna be like, what started your addiction? And you're gonna be like,
Mr.
here.
So I'll figure it out.
Teacher.
Taught me how to play blackjack. The last little bit of this section that I want to talk about real quick.
Download an app for your phone.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm doing it.
A couple things, last little bit to look at when you're looking in this section is something called a compliment. I know that someone, yes.
I said that to we already today. In this class period.
What happens a lot of times when you're dealing with a compliment is used for when you don't want to add up so much stuff. Real easy example is this. What is the probability of rolling, taking a single die, rolling greater than or equal to a 2. So when I'm thinking about, this is actually pretty easy to do long form.
5 plus 6.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What happens here is, how many ways when you roll a die can you get a number greater than or equal to 2? 5 of them. You can get a 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6.
Yeah.
Now, what they're saying here is the other way of doing it, instead of going 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, how many ways are there that you can't get
So anything less than, so 1.
1? What you're doing here is you're using the possible way of this not working. So it would be 1 minus, yes, exactly. And the reason we use 1 is because what is the probability of just rolling the die? 1, because you have to roll it, right? So the probability that you're going to roll greater than or equal to 2,
Is this just another one?
yeah, it's no way to. When you're dealing with a single die, it is not that complicated. But when you start throwing in multiple dice, that's when you start looking at conflicts.
When there's a bigger amount of things that are favorable.
Correct.
Just take what's not favorable.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I got an example here.
Actually,
No, go ahead.
on one of the problems on the homework last night, I realized after I had solved 3 that I accidentally found a non-shade region, so then I just.
That's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. Because you're looking at probability. If you have favorable versus unfavorable, so if you find the unfavorable on mistakes, you factor 1 in there, it's favorable.
Yeah, because I realized after I'd done it all.
So if I'm looking at something like this, and I roll
Number cubes.
2 dice.
Dice.
They use dice. If I roll 2 6-sided dice, do we all agree that there are 36 possible outcomes?
Yeah.
Because if you roll a die, you have 6. You roll another die, there's 6. Last time I checked, 6 times 6 is 6.
17.
So one of the examples here is saying, what is the probability of the sum not equal to 8? Well, when you have a nice, easy chart to look at something like this, it's so simplistic. How many only ways could you get 8? Well,
3 and 5.
2, 6, 3, 5, 4, 4, 5, 3, 6, 2. How many rolls is that?
That's 5.
There's 5 of them, which means how many?
5 out of 31.
So all you have to do is take 1 minus the ways of getting 8, and that's going to tell you how many ways you.
31.
Right.
It's so much easier when you have like a picture like that.
Yeah, and that's all. And it's not bad, but that's the idea. When things start to get more complicated, that you don't have to count as much. That's when you use complement. It's not a pure necessity to do so. It's just one of those things that's helpful.
Like, really, I need to download Blackjack. I have it downloaded right now. Yeah, I'm getting it.
Wait, did you get Blackjack?
I got you guys hooked on black. I'm
I'm
sorry.
probably gonna do that too.
I don't spend 400.
It's fun though. It's not like we're
Yeah,
actually
your sister-
spending all our money.
I'll be spending money.
Now,
I got $25 and I can.
We're just gonna bet iTunes money. Yeah.
So you just imagine how much money you can like someone would make off if they had like one official app and they would let their customers spend their credit like I do like this to play money and then play with other players or like
it's called online video poker. They,
Yeah, I know, but
they have stuff like
yeah,
that.
I
It's
know.
just, it's, gambling is problematic. Gambling can be horribly problematic.
no problems, gosh.
Oh, man.
Talking about my habits.
They're-
The habits you
It's-
formed 10 minutes ago.
Please be a little sensitive.
No, and I would, maybe I should have picked somebody else to play against that did not have such an addictive personality. And it would have been
That
okay.
is so random.
It was
addictive
bad
to
if
tell
I
them.
gotten this big hand.
That's true. If you would have lost, you probably would've-
Yeah, I probably would have hated it if I wouldn't have won the first 2 years.
and that's the idea. It's, you just don't do it. You'll be okay.
Just don't do it
Don't
with
spend money.
I'll get the app. Yeah, the app is a good idea. Feed my hunger.
Feed my
I'm gonna put all during lunch. Mr. Murphy's I'm addicted.
Bless you. I've created a monster.
You want to really
Quiz stuff for tomorrow.
Wait, is this? Try these out tonight. Oh.
Quiz stuff tomorrow. What I'm looking at, remember, it's just the first 4 sections. I'm sorry, 3.5. 12.4 does get a little bit more complicated. If we finish out, everybody finishes out on time tomorrow, we might start a little bit of it tomorrow afternoon. If not, we'll just do that on Friday. I know that like 3rd hour on Friday, like the entire class is gone because of the AP Euro. I only think there's a couple of you in here.
I don't think I Yeah, but the other class, like, I don't play.
Yeah, I have a lot of people out, so yeah, it might wind up being because of the amount of people out and gone. I might actually do the lesson with you guys and just post the video for the other classes. That way everybody has it, but we'll play it by ear and see how it goes.
Wait, so are we not doing that?
No, not all of those, because I didn't want to get into the second part of it
Do you
yet.
know the phrases
Since
actually?
you said that the quiz is only gonna take about 20, 25 minutes. like-
Should only.
Yeah, what do you think we're gonna do after that?
We might start the second half of 12.
That
That's
makes
all.
sense.
Okay.
I thought it was yeah, I thought it was year at first, but I was. Why would it be played by ear? Why would it be played by ear?
So 12.3 is on the quiz, 12.4.
We do 12.1.
Yeah.
And 12.2? Wait, this is
I
our
really like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I just want to do that little bit of it now. These are some compound ones. We'll worry about in 12.4. Like I think I mentioned it yesterday. Let's say you make a mixed tape or a mixed CD.
Allie did.
Allie actually has a mixtape of her rapping.
Check it
It's a
out.
good thing nobody has tape players to listen to.
Oh, what's
Um,
that?
I have it on my phone.
It's hot
I
fire.
do. I did.
What happens? Let's say what happens. Let's say I make Allie a mixtape of actual real good music, and let's say Allie really likes 3 of the songs out of the 13.
This is Allie's mixtape.
Turn it off.
It gets so bad.
I'm trying to get a math problem here.
Wait.
All right.
Mixtape.
No, listen.
I'm just saying what I'm playing. I'm not used to. I make money, yo. I make money. I think I might have gone into